Hey, welcome to Satisfied Personal Finance. Today I'm going to talk about 3 very popular cashback cards, and they are the DBS Frank, oh dear god, the DBS LiveFresh, the OCBC Frank, and the UOB EVOL. Now, these 3 cards are all very popular and they represent as much as 10% cashback according to their website, but which one truly is the best of the 3? Let's find out. Now, all 3 cards work very similarly. You need to have a mixture of online as well as paywave transactions in order to hit their high earn rate. They also have sub-limits, which means that there's a certain cap to each category of expense. And if you spend all on contactless in a particular month, for example, you will not get anywhere close to the maximum cashback that they are advertising. The key to using any of these cards will be to keep your spending in a particular category under the sub-limit while still maintaining your minimum spend. So for example, you use the DBS LiveFresh and the sub-limit is $20 cashback on the paywave category. You can only spend a maximum of $400 in the paywave category, and then the other $200 you spend on the online category. Now you can also do $300 in paywave and $300 of online, because that again is under the sub-limits for each category. Now if you do $500 on contactless and $100 on online, what happens is that you have exceeded the paywave category by $100, and therefore that amount does not enjoy the 5% cashback. So in short, keep your spend under the sub-limit for each category while still maintaining the minimum spend. And you can see more details on this in the individual card reviews that I have posted on my website. If you look at their websites, the UOB EVOL says that it gives 8% cashback, whereas the DBS LiveFresh says it gives up to 10% cashback. The OCBC Frank is a bit more honest, it says 6% cashback. Now, there is theoretical cashback as well as a realistic cashback rate, and I will be looking only at realistic cashback earned by these cards. In terms of realistic cashback, I would say the DBS LiveFresh comes in third at around 5%, and the OCBC Frank comes in second at 6%, and the UOB EVOL actually gives the highest at 6.67% cashback. So if you want the best cashback rate for your spend, the UOB EVOL takes the lead. Now, these cashback rates assumes that you spend just the right amount on paywave as well as online. So I've also included this category called Suboptimal spend, which states how much cashback you can expect to get if you hit the minimum spend just on one category. In this category, OCBC Frank gives 4.17% cashback because you can earn $25 even if you spend all $600 on, let's say, paywave transactions. And 4.17% isn't that bad. The UOB EVOL and DBS LiveFresh will give only about 3.33%, which is pretty average when it comes to cashback rates that you can expect to get from your spending. And therefore, the OCBC Frank takes the lead in this category. Hey, if you like my stuff, press the like button, and thank you for keeping my channel going. The next category we look at will be minimum spend, and all 3 cards require $600 of spending, and therefore it is a draw for all 3 popular cashback cards. When it comes to the maximum amount of cashback you can receive, all 3 banks, I think, are a little bit disingenuous with their marketing. Some of them say that they can offer up to $75, some say up to $60, but I would say that realistically speaking, DBS LiveFresh you can get about $40, same with the UOB EVOL, and for Frank you get a slightly higher $50 per month. This is because each card actually has about $20 to $25 dedicated to other category, which generates 0.3% cashback, which is a very tiny amount of cashback. To max out either $20 or $25 of cashback with a 0.3% cashback rate is more than $8,000 of spend. Now that's insane. Nobody should be getting only 0.3% cashback and spending $8,000 on such a poor rate. If we look at the earn rate as well as the maximum cashback that we can expect to get from these cards, the DBS LiveFresh will take about $800 to max out the $40 cashback. The OCBC Frank will take $833 to max out $50 cashback, and the UOB EVOL just requires $600 to get $40. Hence, if you're someone who spends $600, I would say the UOB EVOL is the best card for you of this bunch. And if you spend a bit more, you can hit about $833. OCBC Frank is great because it gives you the extra $10 cashback for the additional amount of spending. The DBS LiveFresh has an interesting category of sustainable merchants, and if you are someone who spends regularly and significantly on these merchants, the DBS LiveFresh actually comes up ahead because it actually gives 10% on this category of spend, which will change the value proposition. But of course, the list of merchants to me is pretty small and quite niche. And I think only things like EV charging, public transport, or car rental would apply to most people. Everything else, I'm not sure. Okay, if you spend on these merchants, then obviously the DBS LiveFresh will be excellent for you. Now that the main features have been compared, we can now get into the nitty-gritty details, which may make a card better than another card, depending on your use patterns. And we come to the contactless category. This is a very minor point, but for DBS LiveFresh, you can actually use contactless on your phone wallet or the physical card itself, whereas for OCBC Frank and UOB EVOL, you require a smartphone wallet to add your card in first and then use your card to make payment, which is quite a pity because I think OCBC Frank is actually quite a nice looking card, but the card is actually something pretty useless. Add it to your phone and then you can just bring your phone out and get cashback. I like that DBS gives the choice at least. I know it's not a very major point, but I can just pass the card to my mom or to my dad and then they can use the card without adding it to their phones and struggling in the interface when they use it. Right, so good to have a choice. When it comes to exclusions, I feel that DBS LiveFresh has a stricter list of conditions compared to OCBC Frank. To me, I think OCBC Frank has been one of the most permissive cards and it gives cashback on things that I thought would be excluded but aren't excluded. Of course, this takes a little bit of experimentation and some knowledge sharing in the Telegram group chat. So if you're someone with spending that's not so straightforward, right, they are not really retail spending, you may want to look at the OCBC Frank card instead. And of course, you can discuss with other people and ask whether a particular area of spending gives the cashback or not. Now, a while ago, UOB actually added this UOB dollar program to UOB EVOL, and this is actually not a good thing because instead of getting your 6.67% cashback, you now get anywhere between 2 to maybe 5% cashback. This is just something very annoying for UOB EVOL users because now when you spend at a merchant, you need to check whether or not they are on the list of UOB dollar merchants. And if they are, you get the cashback listed here rather than the 6.67% cashback. Another thing to note is how they track the transaction for cashback calculation. DBS LiveFresh to me has the best way of tracking because they track by the transaction date, whereas OCBC and UOB EVOL, they track by the posted date. And this makes a world of difference when you are on the last day or the second last day of the month and you are not yet at your minimum spend. Right, for DBS LiveFresh, you can just make your spending and be assured that you'll be counted for the month's calculation for the minimum spend required for cashback. Whereas for OCBC Frank and UOB EVOL, there will always be this worry whether or not the spend will be counted, right? And this happens more often than I would like to admit because I'm a procrastinator. So in this regard, DBS LiveFresh is superior because it doesn't give me the anxiety. Whereas for OCBC Frank and UOB EVOL, I always have to wonder whether my last day's transactions are counted or will it bounce to the next month. And this, does make a world of difference if you're a procrastinator like myself. Another thing that's not so obvious would be spending promos given to each card by the banks. And I would say that in the past 2 years or so, DBS LiveFresh has been the most generous because DBS has been giving extra 8% cashback from time to time. OCBC Frank does give a little bit of spending promo every now and then, and for UOB EVOL, I have not received a single spend promo from the bank, aside from maybe something that is across all the UOB cards. I think spend 7,000 plus, get a secret lab chair or something like that. In this aspect, I'll say DBS wins hands down because they have given 8% additional cashback for many months, in fact, over the past couple of years, and the other two banks really have not done much in the way of spending promos. And lastly, if you are someone who have not signed up for any of these cards yet, I would say that sign up promos actually make a world of difference when it comes to the value proposition for each card. And historically, DBS have been quite generous. They give $200-$300 when you sign up for their card every now and then. OCBC is not that generous, and UOB always has this like first 100 to spend a certain amount, and you are never assured whether you are the first few people who actually qualify for this promo. So I would say that DBS tends to win this category, but go to my website to look at the latest sign-up gifts in the link below. So if you ask me which is the absolute best among the three, I'm going to cop out a little bit and say that it's a draw between LiveFresh as well as one of the other cards. LiveFresh would be my pick to apply first because of the generous sign-up promo as well as the spend promo from time to time. The spending is tracked by the transaction date rather than posted date, which I hate. It also has a sustainable category which bumps up things like the public transport rides to 10% cashback. And of course, the spam promo from time to time really make the card a lot better. But during normal periods, I will fall back to either using the OCBC Frank or the UOB EVOL. So I would say apply for DBS LiveFresh and one of the other cards, and then you use them depending on whether or not there is a particular spam promo for the month. Now, if you want to apply for any one of these cards or other credit cards, I would appreciate if you do it at my website. You get a great sign-up goodie for yourself and also keep me doing more content and making more videos. Right? Even if you don't sign up for anything, I'll appreciate if you can subscribe to my Telegram group for more content and great deals. Leave a like and comment on this video, and I'll see you next video.